It is not enough to look at the text separately and to look at the illustration separately. It's a good thing to do it separately, but then you need to make sure that they complement one another. If the language in a text doesn't match a graphic, then those two things will show the wrong meaning. Similarly, if a graphic and the description of it at the bottom doesn't match, it will show different meaning. So it's not enough to only look at the text and see is a gender balanced, to look at the illustrations only and see that they are gender balanced, but to make sure that the text and the graphic or the illustration give the same message. So, how can you gender character within text? In text, a character's sex is indicated by the grammatical gender of the pronoun, proper noun, or common noun. If you use he, his, him all the time, you're talking about boys, you're talking about men, you're talking about males. If you never use she, her, then you're on the wrong track. You need to make sure that both are represented. And today, we talk of gender-neutral terms. And we need to introduce these in our textbooks. For example, very simple example, chairman. Today, we don't talk of a chairman, we don't talk of a chairwoman, we talk of a chairperson. It's gender-neutral, doesn't indicate whether it's a male or a female, could be either, and therefore, we need to look for such terms that show neutrality in its use in terms of gender. Another example is mankind. We no longer talk of mankind or womankind, we talk of humankind. We are all humans, regardless of whether we are men or women. And so, trying to bring in this kind of gender-neutral vocabulary into the textbook will make sure that the girls and boys learn the same meaning from what we are trying to teach. So you need to make sure that the grammar and the vocabulary of the text provides the right connection to the gender. Various types of designations can be combined. For example, a pronoun, you could use he, she, or simply say they. No problem. You make the change as needed. A first person, male or female, take both names. Say Amin and Amna. So whether you are a boy or a girl, if you're a boy, you read Amin. If you're a girl, you read Amna, and the text continues. You give the option to the reader. Or use a surname, the last name. Khan. Khan could be Mr. Khan, Miss Khan, Mrs. Khan, Master Khan. A Khan is a last name, and so you use a last name to show neutrality in the use of gender in the text. Show a family relationship, mother, father. If you're talking about father, talk about the mother as well. If you're talking about a brother, talk about a sister as well. If you're talking of an uncle, talk about the aunt as well. Bring in the different family relationships for people and children to understand that it's not only the male relationships that are important, the female relationships are equally important. Bring in other relationships, friends, neighbors, colleagues. Talk about those things. Talk about a profession and an occupation. Today, as language evolves, we change. Today, we don't talk of actor and actress. We talk of actor. And that's the way it should be. The masculine, feminine that we learned when we were going to school are slowly running out of grammar books and should run out of grammar books if we want to portray a gender-neutral text to our students. Use the same type of designation for males and females. For example, use doctor. Doctor doesn't indicate whether you're a man or a woman. Professor doesn't indicate whether you're a man or a woman. So don't use titles that show the gender. Because even today, when you talk of a nurse, the first thing that comes to mind is a woman. When you talk of a teacher, the first thing that comes to mind is a woman. But today, we have male nurses also, we have male teachers also, and therefore you want to use gender-neutral designations as well.